So we find ourselves in a time and age where there's an epidemic and a vacuum of no leadership among men. I know in this audience, a lot of us got a little age, a little tread worn off the tires, a little age on us. And so maybe in our generation, Gen X and the baby busters, and there's also a lot of baby boomers out there in this audience. But you know, the kids that are coming up today, they have a shortage of male role models and who they're looking to form the ideas of who they're supposed to be and to create their ideologies. And we have an age now where also we are really, really plugged in. I'm plugged in. I love it. I love the internet. I mean, I sit and giggle with memes y'all send me all the time. Spicy Friday will be tomorrow. And so because of that, and we have this age of influencers and micro-influencers, macro-influencers, big names, small names, there are certain names that have blown up in recent years, and a lot of young men are finding their ideologies from those guys. That's on one side, this vacuum of leadership, and that guys are having to look to digital relationships for their influence. And on the other hand, we've got an absolute, I'm only going to say this once, I don't like talking about it, but a porn epidemic among men, especially young men in this age, and they're having digital relationships as far as romance and that side of their psyche and their being. And these two together, this is a challenge, it's a problem. From all of that has sprung, maybe the leader of that world is a guy named Andrew Tate, and he's got a voice. Like it or not, he has a voice. It's a lot like similar to Joe Rogan in my whole different category, but Joe Rogan has a voice, and a lot of folks don't like that, but he does. Andrew Tate is what he is. And recently, John Lovell, the warrior poet, has spoken out plainly against him. And a lot of folks in this space, a lot of folks have pushed back on John. And it's a mess. It really is. I'm going to let John speak for himself here in just a second, but I'm going to tell you what I like and what I see, and I'm going to let you also decide for yourself. Let me know what you think. You decide, and let me know where you're at. Yeah, it's a mess. Today's episode is brought to you by CMMG. I showed it to you yesterday. They are teasing the new side-charging Mark 47. Yeah, that's the Descent that takes AK mags, but they've got 27 other models currently and more on their way. Pick out your length, pick out your color, and pick out your chambering. I have one in 9mm, and I hope to get one of Mark 47 soon. CMMG, there's a coupon code. Get to it. You people, thank you for every thumbs up. All right, so John Lovell came out this week pointedly just pushing back on Andrew Tate and that culture. The reason I pressed record was twofold. One, just to highlight this, like just say, okay, we have a problem and we have somebody that's trying to address it. And two, to highlight the pushback that he's getting from our own community. Here's John.
Masculinity is on significant decline. Dudes have lost their way. The ancient paths are no longer being trod. I've written a book on this recently, and I really, really do care about men being able to grow and step into the roles of protector and provider and shepherds of their families. It's a really, really big deal because all of our societal problems, when you boil it down, comes down to family unit stuff. That's some of the most important stuff. And that's why I see some dudes like Andrew Tate, the most important cultural influences in existence today, and people following him. It is absolutely amazing to me that people don't realize this guy's a con artist. I cannot believe it. He is a digital pimp. He is a pornographer. He is not a good man. He will destroy families. He's already destroying people. And so there's nothing I can do to convince a lot of you guys. He said really true stuff. I bet I could sit down with Tate and we could talk for hours on just stuff that we agree on. And we'd be like, yeah, rock on. And I would feel, amidst his charisma and winsome personality and his ability to smooth talk, I would be willing to say, like, man, this guy's just like me. Birds of a feather, you and I. But the difficulty is on that huge 90% stuff that we would agree with, and I'd be like, hey, good point, Tate. Love what you just said there. There's this pernicious, deadly part that we disagree on. And this is the stuff, this will be the death knell to your life and to your future families, and it's going to absolutely wreck you, and your soul won't survive it.
Okay, a lot of y'all may not know who Andrew Tate is. That's fine. And my point when I opened with is he has a voice, like it or not, even if you haven't heard of him, he does have a voice and he does influence, especially young men. People are really fired up about him, and they will go he's not a sports team. Like you say something to the Pittsburgh Steelers guys, and they will fight you hook, line, and sinker. No, the Immaculate Reception, the ball didn't really bounce. They'll fight it no matter what. And we've transferred over those loyalties to a guy who's playing a character. I encourage you to chase this. Go check out John's video. I'll link to it below. It's 11 minutes, and he's got a lot more in there of Andrew's own words. It's Andrew Tate's own words. He is a pornographer. Why are young men so attracted to him? I think it's because he speaks confidently. He's like, hey, here's the way it is. And he's also a professional athlete. He drives nice cars. And I know he had that whole thing last year, which was unproven and unsubstantiated. If you didn't see that, he was accused of some stuff. I don't know the whole story. But he also drives a sports car and he dates supermodels. In his own words, he is a pornographer and is 100% laughing his way to the bank, making fun of young men and the cash that he gets out of men who are trying to get their needs met, whether it's needs for a male figure or needs for female attention. One thing that I really like that John did here, John Lovell did, is that he just highlighted, you know what, 90% we agree on, 90%. We could hang out and have bro talks and it would be fantastic. And there's a lot of things here that we would 100% agree on. I love that. I really like finding commonalities. I have a friend who's not super wild about civilians owning guns. And you can type away down there all you want. Johnny, you shouldn't be friends with that. He's a friend. And I'm loyal to him. And one of the things that we talk about, it's a great conversation, we both want the same thing. We want the same thing. Safe schools, safe roads, clean drinking water, power that's reasonably priced, safety. We want to live our lives. Now, how do we get that? That's where we vary a little bit, a lot of bit. And I like that John highlights that. I think it's interesting that Lovell is getting pushback. And if you want to see the pushback, jump in the comment section on Instagram or the comment section on YouTube, and you're going to see the pushback. I am highlighting that a member of our community is getting pushback for saying, hey, maybe we should push towards other things. Maybe we should hold up for ourselves other examples than pornographers in this world. And he got pushback for it. I think it's interesting. I think it's worth talking about. A little cultural conversation today. Andrew Tate, John Lovell, a little bit of a squabble going on in the comment section. I think it's worth talking about. Let me know where you're at. Tell you where I'm at. It's okay to be white. It's okay to be straight. It's okay to be a man. And it's okay to be a Christian.